Well, right now the guys are in a lot better shape, so I think the effort for the first 2 days have been pretty good. I think going into camp, being able to work out those 2 months in the summer, they're also probably the fastest and strongest they've been, at any point in time in the year. So everybody's been doing a pretty good job, so far healthy through 2 practices. But I think the guys have, especially the older guys, have done a great job of just from a leadership role of teaching the young guys how to practice and the expectations, and looking forward to building and finishing camp, taking it a day at a time, and getting as best as we can and most prepared as we can for September 3rd.
Obviously, no position is guaranteed, but you look to have at least 2 of the 3, and Harper and Draymond kind of, I don't want to say locked in, but they should expect to start. What do you do with the 3rd one, and how do you keep the competition level going at the free safety position as well?
You know what? We got pretty good depth all around. We're going to have 7 or 8 guys that I would probably feel comfortable playing, at any point in time. I've told the guys that the 3 best are going to start, and if that is, moving a guy from a certain position, I'm trying to get the most skill on the field. So we're still got a ways to go. Haven't even put on the pads yet, but Draymond's done a great job. Harp coming back from the spring is good. Jeremy, any 3 of those guys, they know all 3 positions. So, we can do some things, and we got some depth with some guys who were here in the spring, and some of the new guys coming in and done a pretty good job too.
Draymond mentioned he thinks the leadership will come from either Tyler Harper or himself. Is that a fair assessment at this point?
Absolutely. Those guys have been here the longest. They know the expectations. And just because, whether you're a freshman or senior, I expect everybody to try to take control and be leaders, and the younger guys get to learn from some of the best in those guys. But I challenge them every day to try to take on that leadership role.
Matt, if you want to have a guy who's been around and knows things, it's probably the free safety, because quarterback back there, right? Draymond's been around a little bit. How helpful has he been, not for the players, but also for you?
Having a guy coming back, this will be his 3rd year as a full-time starter, helps a ton. He's a guy that he knows the defense. Like I said, he knows all 3 positions. He knows what's going on in front of him, not only from a linebacker standpoint, but understand what the defensive line's doing too. And it helps him that much. And he's great with his eyes. He makes plays in the open field. And having him back there as a leader, the free safety does a lot just from a communication standpoint between the 3 guys. It's good to have somebody with a ton of experience and is reliable and, can make plays back there.
He was telling me about long text message chains with his teammates and random meetings they have at all hours to watch film or just go run plays or whatever. Do you get reports on that, I'm guessing? Right?
Not really. No. That's kind of their stuff. We don't force them. That's kind of the summertime where that's kind of the leadership role that we try to develop in them.
Right.
Being the older guys is doing things. Obviously the summer lifting is mandatory, but it's doing those things when nobody's around. Getting the guys together, watching film, 7-on-7, 1-on-1s. That just kind of shows you the leadership that he has taken to, not be satisfied with 7 or 8 wins. He's ready to take that next step and lead the team. So we can win 10, 11, 12 games.
He mentioned before he kind of had to just keep a top on things, and he knew that KJ and Carl could make a bunch of plays. Does he have to do more now just because of his experience and the fact that he does know, and not that your other guys aren't playmakers, but not as sustained as the other 2 guys?
He's a playmaker, and sometimes he tries to do too much. If he sticks within the framework of the scheme that he needs to do, I tell him all he's going to make a ton of plays no matter what. It's the times where he tries to do too much, he puts himself in bad situations. If he follows what he's coached to do in the scheme, he'll still make a ton of plays. But I'd rather be able to slow a kid down and teach him that if he's too aggressive than trying to make a kid aggressive,
sure.
That doesn't want to do it.
One more. Marvin's been here a long time. He's been a defensive end and a linebacker. And now he's at maybe your most important position, right? We can't talk to him. You see him all the time.
Yeah,
where is he? How's he doing? What's he like back there?
You know what? He's reliable. He understands what we're doing on defense because he's been here so long. He's got to develop and become better in other aspects than just football. He's got all the talent in the world. You know, he just needs to take care of business from his end, and you know, kind of show that he can produce and be productive in situations that we ask him and need him to be.
Away from practice, between practices, we knew that. Sounds important.
Yeah, just, you know, kind of both, a little bit of both.